Heistand is one of the stars of the touring production of On Your Feet, the story of Emilio and Gloria Estefan. Hi, Emma. Thank you so much for your time today.
Hi, thank you, Rudy. Nice to meet you and get to
Nice,
chat with
nice meeting you as well, too. The show got its pre-Broadway start here in Chicago, and we're so happy that the show is back.
you. Yes, we are so excited to be here too. It's a really cool full circle experience for all of us.
The show's at the CIBC Theater now through March 24th. You play Rebecca, but let's take a moment because you actually got to understudy and you got to play Gloria on stage.
Yes, I did. I did. It was my first time too. It was like last weekend, so it's been kind of a whirlwind to process that whole experience still.
Let's talk a little bit about the character of Rebecca. It's Gloria's sister. Talk a little bit about that family dynamic that we're going to see in the show.
Oh my gosh, it's such a blast. I mean, it's nice getting to play a little sister. In real life, I'm an older sister. So it's kind of fun taking like the back seat and kind of being the little more like mischievous one that kind of pushes Gloria. And you see Gloria's transition from the beginning of the show to being this more shy, reserved girl to kind of, coming into her own as an adult in Act Two. So I feel like as Rebecca, it's really fun to kind of play alongside her journey. And, we sing one of the most beautiful songs, in my opinion, in the show called Anything for You. And it's one of the most powerful moments for me as an actress to kind of be right beside Gloria as she embodies this whole experience of being nervous to sing in front of people and then finding her voice and kind of letting it all out there. And the first time Emilio sees her and kind of has this like vision of who she could be. And I'm like right there watching the whole thing happen. So it's just really a beautiful experience, kind of just to be a part of that and alongside that and play. We have so much fun on stage. Gabby Albo, who plays Gloria, is like one of my best friends and sisters in real life almost. So it's fun to have that dynamic as well.
The mom, the grandma, like how does that kind of play into Rebecca as well?
Oh my gosh, it's such a blast. Well, for anything, our cast is so close. So it's kind of fun because, in the show, we have ages that range from 21 to 72. So the woman who plays the abuela in the show, Consuelo, is almost kind of that like very motherly, grandmother kind of feel in real life. So it makes it feel so real on stage, getting to listen to her retell stories of when Fajardo was performing in Cuba and things like that, because it just feels like something that would happen like on the bus when we're traveling on tour. And then the same thing with Kristen Tarago, who plays the mom. I mean, we're all so close. And so it's kind of fun having this like dynamic shift when we're on stage. And oh my God, her acting and her storytelling and the way she embodies this strong, stern, motherly figure is beyond me. So it's really, really powerful to get to share that stage and kind of have her presence and play with that. I mean, we all just are having so much fun getting to tell this story that's so iconic and for some of us so close to home with the music we've grown up listening to and, the story of these Latinos that kind of made this huge impact in the music industry and world. So it's really cool to kind of just play and share this powerful story all together and kind of embody these real people as well.
I mean, we can put it into two different questions or put it into one, but like you said, these are songs that so many people grew up with, and a lot of times we don't get to see ourselves on stage. I mean, what's it like looking out into the audience when certain, Conga, Anything for You, 1, 2, 3, coming out of the dark when these songs come out?
Oh my gosh.
What's it like to look into the audience?
It is the most beautiful thing. I mean, my favorite is 1, 2, 3, because there's a whole buildup of the scene where at first Gloria, not to spoil anything, but at first Gloria kind of is having a hard time, telling that song and kind of figuring out, embarrassed, nervous, and she's having a really hard time kind of getting the steps and everything. And then there's this shift that she then is able to like go for it, and she gains this confidence, and you watch that whole process. And as soon as we get into that 1, 2, 3, and everyone knows like, oh, it's game time. You can just see the whole front row like get so excited and light up with this like reminiscing of maybe the first time they heard the song and they were jamming to it in the car or whatever. So it's really cool just to see people dance along. And then in Conga, we get people in the audience to get up on their feet and dance with us, which is anytime we get audience participation, we get people singing and clapping and dancing with us. It's the most beautiful thing. My favorite also, show, honestly.
And you know what? That was a really smart move on the show when they were creating it, because Conga is one of those songs people are going to get up and dance and sing along. So if you didn't incorporate it into the show, people were going to do it anyway.
Absolutely. Of course, absolutely. And it's the end of Act 1 too, so you kind of like leave on this high, and everyone's dancing in intermission, getting their snacks and maybe their little glass of wine or whatever. But it's a crowd pleaser, and we have fun dancing it. So we hope that everyone that's in the audience also has that fun time as well with us.
You brought up a point earlier as far as, especially, you know, for Latina, Latinx families, you know, having this, maybe if you grew up in the 80s, this was really the only representation of Latin music you got to hear on pop stations, and people got to grow up with Gloria as this like soul icon. I mean, now things are so diverse, but at the time, she was like her, Emilio, and the Miami Sound Machine were the only, you know, example that crossed over to pop radio. Are you seeing that in like the generations of audiences with like people bringing their moms and their aunts and their uncles and the whole family's coming to see the show?
Yeah. And it's such a powerful story because for me personally, you know, I'm from Miami, and it's crazy because my abuelo, my grandfather, actually was Gloria and Emilio's photographer when they were just getting started. And so for me to hear the stories of how he kind of watched their whole lives transform in front of them and kind of now be a part of sharing that story is really cool. And then also my mom grew up going to Miami Sound Machine when they were performing in Emilio's garage. And, you know, she was in the Dr. Beat music video when they had a budget of 0. And so to kind of grow up listening to that and kind of being a part of that, now to be on stage and share a piece of that and like my story with that is really, really powerful for me.
Did you get a chance to meet Gloria while you were growing up, or did you get a chance to meet her once you were part of the show and share that story?
I haven't yet, but we heard that she might be making a pit stop when we're in Hollywood, Florida. So I'm super excited to get to hopefully meet her and kind of reconnect and share some stories that, you know, I've heard from my abuelo and my mom and things like that. So I'm crossing my fingers that I get the chance to meet them when we're in Florida.
I hope so. I hope so too. And just really quickly here, but before we go, Josh Segarra, who is one of the original stars of the original production, is actually going to be in Chicago this weekend for a comic book convention. Is there any chance he might stop by the show, or is anybody trying to make that happen?
I'm sure we haven't heard anything about that yet, but that's super cool. And I mean, I would be honored to get the chance to meet him and anyone who's had some sort of impact. I mean, being here in Chicago, this is where it started. And our director, Luis Salgado, who was a part of the original show and then now is directing and choreographing our version of it, he sent us a video of like, you know, embrace that magic of the legacy that is here in this story and on this stage. I mean, I even remember coming in high school to this very theater, sitting in the audience watching Hamilton, and now I'm on stage getting to share this powerful story. So there's so many full circle events that just makes this storytelling and the power of music and performance so much more meaningful for me and for everybody. So it's, yeah, I hope I get to meet him, and I hope that he stops by, gives us some love.